Hello gang, welcome back. It's been a few weeks since we've walked the woods and they're bare. There's nothing left. We've got a few trees hanging on to some leaves, but really it is bare. Wide open. You can see everything all the way through. Not all of the vegetation has pulled back yet, but you can see here everything is starting to pull back pretty hard. Big open spaces now where you can see the pastures again. It won't get completely empty, of course, because the trees that we laid down to create this paradise for our critters, or for the wild critters, I should say, they're going to stay. But the vegetation will continue to pull back. And as far as I can tell at this point, nobody is using these crevices as dens anymore. They may use them for a momentary respite, but with the woods being as bare and as empty as they are, and with the weather changing and all the vegetation being pulled away from the dens, it isn't as much protection from the wind, from the wet, from the weather and the cold. So they will shift to underground or more protected areas, which at this point is not what we have. And that's also part of the design, right? I don't want them necessarily using our pasture borderland as their main home during the winter. Why not, you ask? Or probably don't ask. But the reason I don't want them there is because, winter is tough. It's time of, short supply of food. They have to work harder to hunt. The instinct that an animal has is to conserve their calories as much as possible. I mean, you can see straight through the woods now. There is just nothing at all. There's no vegetation left at all. So again, path of least resistance for our wild critters, our wild friends. And we don't have large predators right now. I mean, certainly there are bears and coyotes in the area, but to date, I have not seen evidence of them in our woods or on our land. They're here. I just haven't seen evidence of them. So we're really looking at smaller predators: fox, raccoons, skunks, opossums, mink, weasels, and other small predators that are indigenous to New Jersey. We're going to turn here because there is nothing here but just leaf litter and bare trees. You can see straight through again. And even from back here, I can see straight through into the pastures. So line of sight is just about end to end at this point. So if I encourage the predators to bed down near the pastures like I do in the spring and the summer with these, I'll call them human-made dens and habitat, if we encourage that in the winter, the instinct for a predator is to conserve their caloric intake, conserve their calorie expenditure, hunt close to home. It puts them a little bit too close for comfort when food is sparse. I would much rather them do what they do right now and move to a more protected, secluded area. We have plenty of that on this property, but it's deeper back. When I take you on the hayfield walks and we get all the way deep back there, there's plenty of space for them there. And I want that protection for them to stay out there away from our pastures. they're not gonna, they're not a danger to anybody in the barn, right? Nothing that hunts in this area from a predator perspective is a danger to the donkeys, the goats, the pigs, but they can be a danger to the birds. And although this is not right near the pond, it is closer to the pond. So we just sort of encourage during the seasonal shift for the wild critters to go a bit further back on the property. And they do that naturally. It's not something we force, but it is helps by not providing the same level of habitat in the winter that we provide in the spring, summer, and even fall. And that way they hunt back in the fields, they hunt in the woods, and they're not coming forward toward the pond, our house, etc. It's also why we structured the farm the way we did, right? We could have very easily put the pond and the birds much further back on the property, probably had more room for it. But doing that puts it further away from the humans and closer to natural predators. So by keeping it closer to the human activity, keeping it between the human habitat and the barn, and encouraging the natural behaviors of predators to move away from the barn area and even further from the pond, it just adds that extra level of protection for the birds. I mean, you can see we get right through the pastures here. This was completely covered with vegetation during the spring and summer, and now it's a straight shot through. I can see the dunks. We've got the boys are out, sort of, about as far out as I ever see them anymore. So Phineas and Thorn are out and about. And yeah, that's a quick update from the woods and what we're doing with the habitat that we've created for the critters. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in this world. I hope your skies are as blue as ours right now, and that you are taking care of yourself, take care of each other's, and be kind. Bye for now.